Hello guys and welcome to another episode of me ranking nerf lines. Today will be one that has a special place in my heart, even though it wasn't around for that long, is Doomlands. Doomlands had some very interesting choices with what they did. Some interesting blasters. I feel like they could have done way more with this. I love the color that they had. And now it's just gone. It's a shame. Doomlands, you were a good one. Not the best, but you were a good one. This will be a quick video. We only have 9 blasters to rank. And with that, we might as well get started, shall we? With good old Doomlands. At number 9, don't care what you say about this blaster. This blaster is just terrible. Its range is perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with its range or anything like that. Even its, what are they? Air restrictors are perfectly fine too. The issue I have with this guy, because it is a, what is it, a hammer action. It is a hammer action. This is the worst hammer action Nerf has ever done. This hammer action is so terrible. I don't know how they did. They just made it awful. There's barely like anywhere to grab. The little notch in the hammer action isn't big enough for your finger, and it takes way too much pressure to actually prime it. Its handle is also really bad. From the handle to the trigger well is too small, so it squeezes your finger, and it's just not fun. The trigger's not even that good. It holds 4 rounds though. That's like the only thing I'll give it. This thing is awful. I had one and I got rid of it just because I just didn't like it that much. I just got rid of it. I gave it away. And with that, number 8. Some people say this is the worst blaster in the line, and I can see where you're getting at, but this guy's worse. Don't care what you say. This guy, handle, pretty good. Trigger, another fine trigger. It's just a rear prime. Because of its clear plunger tube, there's a chance of it breaking, so that's why it's 8. But I still think it's better, just because this is an actually kind of cool scope. It holds darts on the top of it. It's interesting, at least. And it's just an oversized one-shot blaster. So it's going to hit hard. It's going to do decent. There's nothing wrong with it. That's why it's 8. And it's not 9, because this thing is a piece of poop. On to number 7 is the Judge. The Judge is one of the big, interesting blasters that came out of this line. This was the biggest blaster that came out of this line. And this is also the biggest shotgun they ever made. I think it holds 30 shots, pump action, and it's shots of 3. So it's a burst of 3 rounds. So you have 10 shots. And this thing is just cool. It's way too big for what it is, but it's awesome. 3-shot shotgun with 10 rounds. How could you go wrong? Issues is this thing is just massive. And there's like no place to really put a stock on it. It has one little tactical rail on top for a scope, but why would you scope this thing? It's just so big. Also, another issue is its priming, its pump action. Like, if you ever held one, you know what I mean. Is it just feels like it's going to break. Like, you prime it back, you prime it forward, and then you, like, pull it a little, and you feel like if you pull it any harder, it's going to snap if you try and prime it when it's already primed. Handle is good, trigger's good, nothing wrong with that. The handle's actually pretty comfy, to be honest with you. This thing is just big and has issues that it's pretty easy to break that pump on it. I haven't heard about anyone breaking it, but it just feels so weak. It just feels so weak. But this is an awesome shotgun, so that's why it goes at number 7. And number 6 is another shotgun. The Double Dealer is a really, really fun blaster, but it has its issues. So if you can't tell, you load 2 magazines on it from each side. It's another shotgun prime it back, forward. Pull trigger fires 2 rounds. Its issue is it has a lot of air leaks, and leaks a lot of its air pressure, so the rounds it shoots aren't that strong, but at least you get 2 shots. Like, this blaster is still pretty cool. Stock's terrible, but the cool thing with the stock is it holds another 2 magazines in the stock that does not come with. Handles, the handles aren't great. They have this weird, like, bony texture I don't like on it. Trigger's fine. The really cheap out thing is what they did is with the, the jam cover. The jam cover is just terrible. It's really easy to plastic. It's really easy to make it just fall off. And it's just crappy. So with its air leaks and its issues, it sits 6. But this is also just a really fun blaster. You would not go wrong using this. And you will get the rare chance of you actually getting a good one. Like my friend had a good one and he modified it too. And his hits really pretty decently. I mean, having 2 35-round drums on this guy, it won't matter about the air leaks. It's going to be a fun time. At 5 is this thingy. I own this thing. I did like the thing, but then I thought, why is it this shape? Like, there's no reason for this blaster to be this large. That's why it's here. And this, this hammer action, look at that. That's how hammer action is supposed to be. A nice place to grab it, nice place to hold. Its handle's pretty good. Still a little bit far away from the actual trigger, but it works. It's not bad. And this thing is just oversized for no reason. It's 8 rounds, yes, but why is it so tall? Like, nerf, you did not have to do that. Like, I have opened this thing up. That entire top piece is just open plastic. There's nothing in it. There's no reason why it should look like that. This blaster could have been like an insane blaster everyone would love. This could have been the new hammer shot. Could have been. 8 rounds. But no, you had to wait until Nerf Elite 2.0 to release a blue one. That's still too long for no reason. This fat thing sits 5, that's why. And number 4 is the Lawbringer. The Lawbringer has its issues, but it's 12 rounds of lever action. And you can also saw it off to make it a pistol. It's pretty cool. This one is actually pretty dang comfy with how it sits right now. Has dart storage in the stock, holds 12 rounds of cylinder goodness, and is a very comfortable blaster. The reason why it's only 4 is it is weak. This thing is weak. Like, it has, I think this one also has a problem with air seals just because how weak its performance is, because it is just bad. It is bad. But the blaster itself, how it looks, just how it is in general is just really, really nice. It's very comfy, and it's just an awesome blaster. It just is underperformed. It just underperforms. And that's not too bad to say. You'll have fun if you bring this on the field. If you make it a pistol and have it as a sidearm, you'll have fun. At 4 is this guy, a pump action 6-shot cylinder that is just very interesting to say the least. I'm surprised this thing I put at 3, but it hits hard. It's a shotgun prime. There's nothing really bad to say about it. That's why it's 3. It has a really cool little like bent handle and with the trigger, and that just works. It works pretty dang well. And there's not much else to say. It's a pump action 6-round cylinder, and it just works and it's nice. And yeah, that's about it. At 2 is when they changed the colors, went from this cool orange, my go-to, what I like, to this white, because they're now in the frozen wasteland, which is when doomlands really started to die off. But even so, it had 2 of the best blasters in the line, even though I'm not a fan of just the white with the orange. This guy is the long arm. Sorry. Reading is not my specialty, guys. The long arm. It is top prime, 5 rounds. It's pretty dang, there's nothing bad to say about it. It's just long. It holds 5 rounds. It's long, like the name. Handles perfectly good. Triggers perfectly fine. It's just top prime, 5 rounds. I do not think this is pump action. I mean, yeah, I don't think it is. I mean, whatever. But Top Prime, 5 rounds. Just a little bit longer than it should be. Nothing wrong with that. This is like a cool blaster. This would be a cool blaster to try and make it like the Fallout, series that is out right now. This could be the Ghouls blaster. This could, if you paint this guy up, it would look like it. And there's nothing really bad to say about this guy. This guy's good. I like it. And at 1 is the Desolator. This is the only flywheel blaster in the line, and the ergonomics on this thing is great. I like it. They're good. It has a really nice place for your hand up front. The stock is well done, and it has plenty of room for your hand. The rev trigger is maybe a little bit too small, but that's not a bad thing. And it has 2 tactical rails up top, so if you want a scope in the back or the front, it will all work. The stock, like I said, is amazing. This guy is just good all around, and it's pretty much just a Strife. So, semi-auto goodness, like always. There's nothing bad to say. And with that, that's the good old Doomlands line. The Doomlands line was a line that had its shining moments, but died pretty fast. It didn't really have anything too impressive, which is the issue. Like, the Judge is probably the most impressive thing that was released from this line. They just had so much with a line about just being out in the nothingness, being, after the world in just desert. You would think there's so many more things they could have done. And I feel like Nerf, this is one of the lines they completely wasted. They should have done way more with Doomlands. It had so much potential, and it fell on its face. And with that, thanks for watching, guys. I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.